Okay, good afternoon, Mrs. Highben's classes. We are going to look at some electronic resources that you can use for your research assignment. These are located on the District Library webpage, which we went to yesterday. You'll go to Students, Media Center, High School Media Center, and then you'll look under the Research Databases tab right here. The first one that we're going to go to is actually the second one on your list, the handout that I've given to you, Facts on File. All of the usernames and passwords for the databases that we will reference are on that handout. This one didn't ask me for it, but you probably will need to put it in yourself. So anyways, Facts on File is, it covers multiple types of topics. The one that we're probably going to look at most is issues and controversies. That's the one that will probably be most helpful for many of your research assignments. Issues and controversies is set up in a way that addresses hot button controversial issues in a pro-con fashion. So we'll just go ahead and look at, let's do this marijuana one right here. Should the United States legalize marijuana? And you see at the top, the essential question, marijuana, should the United States legalize marijuana? A pro-con article, which is what we're on right now, primary sources, media, which is tends to be videos. I love the infographics section because I love including statistics in your research paper, but only statistics that are used in context. So it's not helpful to just throw out numbers unless you can provide some context for them, and infographics tend to help you do that. Editorials are just other people's opinions on the matter that have been published. And then news is helpful because it covers current events that are going on now with the topic. I'm going to jump back to the pro-con article. The part that I want to show you first on this is actually the discussion questions. This is great for anybody that is still struggling to narrow down their topic, or kind of just even think about what the body of their paper is going to be. This can kind of take you in some directions that you may not have already considered. Okay, I'll go back to the full article. And again, the first part is just supporters argue, opponents argue, and their little summary pieces. But if I scroll down, I'm going to get a lot more information. This is all background to start with. But then I get detailed information on each stance. They give me a bibliography with additional resources that I can reference. And at the bottom, I get a citation. Now, what's important to know is that this citation is not in APA format. So you can pull the information from here, the article title, where it's from, the date that it was published and accessed, and so on and so forth. But you do not want to just copy and paste directly from this citation. Neither of these options that it gives you are the ones that you want. So you need to reference your material for Mrs. Highben on how to cite this properly in APA format. Okay, the next source we're going to look at is Source Mandarin. The username is OH0725 and the password is 44663. This is set up in a way that's very similar to the one that we just looked at. Pro-con leading issues. You can search up here or just select your issue over here. This time let's look at the abortion article. Okay, it gives me a very quick overview at the top here. This leads me to like subset kind of questions. So the big question or the big issue is probably up here usually, and then Additional related issues are here. Should parental consent be required for a teenager to obtain an abortion? Should late-term abortions be allowed? This is just the big overview question. Should women have the right to an abortion? And then, so I'm just going to click one of these.
Pardon interruption. It does look like our minors.
Okay, I'm going to click the parental consent for abortion one. And they'll give you just a very brief overview at the top, along with some critical thinking questions. These kind of align with the discussion questions from the other one, the other database. They also give you a timeline. Their timeline is much more detailed typically than the timeline that the other database, the Facts on File database, gives you. Extensive information here. So this would be wonderful if you're adding some background to your paper. And then the way they structure this is rather than pro-con, viewpoint 1 or viewpoint 2. In this case, viewpoint 1 is parents have the right to be involved in their child's medical decisions. Viewpoint 2 is a teenager should be able to obtain an abortion without parental consent. Each of these additional articles supports the viewpoint that it falls under, and is written typically by an academic or an expert on the topic. At the bottom, it does have the citation in APA format for you, so you should be able to just copy and paste this. Of course, you will want to reference the materials that Mrs. Highben has given you to make sure that the formatting is correct. Again, each of these is a separate source too, so that's just something to note. Down below, they're giving you separate links to newspaper articles, magazine articles, government documents, primary sources. All of those would maybe be a good supplemental resources to look at. I love the multimedia statistics portion of this database. This one gives you a lot of infographics and a lot of pictures and things like that that maybe will just help you gain a better understanding of the topic before trying to explain it to others. Let's see. And then, of course, they do have a website section as well for additional sources. Okay, the next one on your sheet, Teen Health and Wellness, we're not going to talk too much about. If you have a topic that deals with medical issues or wellness issues, please let me know. And if you're not finding enough sources elsewhere, we might look at that one. But there's two more that we're going to look at more extensively. The next one is CQ Researcher, and that's actually at the top of your list. You log in up here in the corner. It's important to log into CQ Researcher because it will give you some of the information without logging in, but you're really not getting the full experience unless you do log in. Okay, so we'll pick an issue over here. There also is the search feature up here for many more issues than just the ones that are featured, but these are just kind of the ones that are maybe most in the news lately. We'll do gun control this time. A CQ Researcher is a little different than the other databases in that they consider these reports rather than like articles. So a CQ Researcher report is fairly extensive, gives you a lot of information, but the one thing that is a little bit different is, and actually I'm just going to do this part first. The one thing that is a little bit different is that these are dated reports. So I'm going to look at the ones in 2018, citizen protests, disaster readiness. Whereas the other databases update their information frequently and just change their articles, these dated reports are unchanged. They actually are published to a print book as well. So once it's published, it doesn't change. So you want to make sure that the information that you are getting is current. They date back, well, all the way to 1991. You're not going to want a report from 1991. So if you type a topic in and you're getting results that are more down here in the list than up here in the list, maybe consider another source. However, if you do have a CQ researcher that fits your topic, it's going to be a really valuable resource to you. The full report gives you an introduction, an overview, some background. I love the current situation section because this is going to talk about legislation dealing with your topic, but also things that are timely and in the news that deal with the topic as well. They give you a timeline here. Theirs is maybe not as extensive as the second resource we looked at. Pro-con. Again, not super extensive, but sometimes it's better to have something that's a little bit more concise. Maps and graphs. These are kind of like infographics. I love the next step feature because this is going to give you some more information on particular aspects of the issue at hand. Bibliography gives you the sources that they've used, but ones that also might be helpful for you. And finally, the citation feature for this is over here, Cite Now. It's already done for you in APA format, so you can copy and paste, which is very helpful to you. And then the last thing that I really like about this database or this CQ researcher is that it's really easy to read these in the PDF format. I have no problem with you printing these and taking them with you. So they're long. Maybe print to the copier, and then we can print on both sides. But and I can help you with that. But they are really good resources. So I have no problem with you printing them and taking them with you. Okay, the last thing that I want to show you is Info Ohio. Info Ohio is kind of the catch-all. It's the one that is going to have something for everyone. Info Ohio houses journals, magazine articles, newspaper articles, lots of different things. If I go to the iSearch feature right here, I'm going to put my topic in. I'm going to just do abortion again. The first tab here is going to take me to the books that are in my library. This is just taking me actually back to that library catalog. So we're going to skip that. You probably already have a book. Basic sources are things like Time Magazine, Newsweek Magazine, things that I could probably pick up off the shelf of my public library at least. Advanced sources tend to be more scientific in nature. They come from journals, American Journal of Public Health, legal dates, issues in medicine or in law and medicine. So these are probably going to be a little bit denser to read. You may want to steer clear of these for this assignment unless you need information that is I don't want to say newer, that's not what I mean. Unless you are studying, unless there's like groundbreaking information coming from a scientific study, this maybe isn't for you. The Basic Encyclopedia tab and the Advanced Encyclopedia tab are not things that you're going to cite for this assignment, but they are wonderful for just getting background information on your topic so that you know keywords and things like that to go from. Okay, last but not least, I want to point you to one feature that I can help you with or through this research help section on the library website. If you go to this research checkpoint, I am more than happy to gather some sources for you when I am not with classes. And if you're really struggling, please let me know so that I can point you in the right direction. Give me your name, your research topic with specific information about what you're studying, and tell me whether you're on the right track and what questions and concerns you have. Thanks.